Breaking news, you're looking at video of one of the last times Oscar winner Gene Hackman, a known recluse in recent years, was seen in public.
Well known as Gene Hackman was, neighbors tell us that he and his wife led intensely private lives here in Santa Fe, their longtime home. And while we've been learning more about this case, there is still so much.
What really happened at Gene Hackman's mansion? This isn't just another celebrity headline. It's a shocking mystery that has left Hollywood and fans worldwide in disbelief. The legendary actor, known for his unforgettable performances in The French Connection, Unforgiven, and Superman, was discovered lifeless alongside his wife, Betsy Arakawa, in their secluded New Mexico home. But that was only the beginning. What investigators found at the scene raised more questions than answers, turning what seemed like a peaceful passing into something far more unsettling. What secrets were hidden behind those walls? Could this story be more sinister than it appears?
Here in Santa Fe, Sheriff's Department officials here working behind me have yet another high-profile case on their hands. Aaron, you and I covered at length the Alec Baldwin case, that fatal shooting on the set of the movie Rust. This is the same investigative team.
The mystery began when two maintenance workers arrived at Gene Hackman's sprawling Santa Fe estate for a routine visit. But what they stumbled upon was anything but routine. The front door stood wide open, an eerie detail that immediately put them on edge. Inside, the scene was unsettling. Hackman and his wife, Betsy, were found lifeless in separate rooms. Hackman lay near the kitchen, collapsed beside his cane and sunglasses. Betsy was discovered on the bathroom floor, surrounded by scattered prescription pills and an overturned space heater. Adding to the bizarre nature of the discovery, one of their dogs was found unresponsive in a crate, while two others roamed, freely, seemingly unharmed. News of the chilling scene sent shockwaves through the quiet Santa Fe community and left Hollywood reeling.
Initial findings note no external trauma to either individual. They say that carbon monoxide toxicology reports have been requested. Finally, as sheriff's officials gather information, it's worth pointing out that this could take weeks or months before we know exactly what the cause is. That's because these medical examiner cases often take time in order to get to the root cause of these.
At first, authorities leaned toward a straightforward explanation: carbon monoxide poisoning. It seemed plausible. After all, toxic fumes from heating systems have caused tragic deaths in many older homes. But that theory was quickly ruled out. Tests showed no traces of carbon monoxide, and the gas company found no leaks. Fire officials confirmed there was nothing in the house that could have caused such poisoning. With that revelation, the investigation took a baffling turn. If not carbon monoxide, then what? How could two seemingly healthy individuals die simultaneously, in different parts of the house with no clear cause? The mystery deepened, leaving investigators scrambling for answers.
They've clearly been for several days, and I'm saying days plural, in order to get that kind of mummification. One of the ways of figuring this out, obviously, is from the scene investigation to find out when did they last pick up the mail, when did they last check in with relatives, phone calls, those kind of things, because people generally will communicate with others during the course of their time.
As if things weren't strange enough, the condition of the bodies only added to the mystery. Experts were baffled. Hackman and Arakawa's remains showed signs of significant decay, suggesting they had been there for quite some time before being discovered. Some even described the bodies as appearing almost mummified, an eerie detail that raised even more questions. Investigators noted that the dry New Mexico air, combined with the home's heating, could have sped up the process. But even with that factor, the timeline didn't quite make sense. Hackman's pacemaker had recorded its last activity on February 17th, indicating he had likely been lifeless for at least 9 days before anyone found him. Could this timeline be the key to unlocking the truth? Or was there something even more unsettling lurking beneath the surface?
A dog who was alive in the house and a dog also that belonged to them who was outside the house.
Right, but the door being ajar means what Judy describes, which is they could have been there 10 days or 2 weeks, meant that the dogs could have had access to come in and out of that doorway. They might have had access to food and to water.
As investigators worked to unravel the events leading up to the discovery, unsettling details emerged, small but chilling clues that hinted at something beyond the ordinary. Why was the front door left wide open? Was it a desperate cry for help? Or had someone entered, or exited, the home? And what about the scattered pills near Betsy's body? Were they part of a medical emergency, or did they suggest something more deliberate? These unanswered questions left even the most seasoned detectives baffled. One investigator admitted, "In all my years, I've never seen a case quite like this." Meanwhile, the public's reaction was a mix of shock, grief, and endless speculation. Hackman, widely regarded as one of the greatest actors of his generation, was known for his down-to-earth private lifestyle. After retiring from acting in 2004, he spent his later years writing novels, painting, and embracing the quiet beauty of Santa Fe alongside Betsy. The couple was admired for their generosity, often supporting local businesses while avoiding the Hollywood spotlight. For many, the sudden and mysterious circumstances of their passing seemed completely at odds with the peaceful life they had built.
Hollywood gets ready to honor its best at the Academy Awards this weekend. There are still unanswered questions about the death of two-time Oscar winner Gene Hackman and his wife. The couple was found this week in their New Mexico home. On Friday, investigators ruled out carbon monoxide poisoning and revealed other clues that may lead them to determine what
Hollywood, too, was shaken to its core. Tributes poured in from fans and fellow actors, with many sharing fond memories of Hackman's immense talent and kind-hearted nature. Gwyneth Paltrow, who starred alongside Hackman in the Royal Tenenbaums, posted a heartfelt tribute online, calling him a true legend and sharing a nostalgic photo from their time on set. Clint Eastwood, Hackman's Unforgiven co-star and director, released a statement saying, "Gene wasn't just one of the most talented actors I ever worked with. He was a dear friend. His loss leaves a void that can never be filled." Hackman's family, understandably devastated, also spoke out. His daughter, Leslie, described her father as being in remarkably good health for his age, noting that he regularly practiced Pilates and yoga. She expressed deep gratitude for Betsy, crediting her for keeping Hackman active and healthy in his later years. "They had a beautiful partnership," she said in an emotional statement. "Betsy took such good care of him. I can't believe they're both gone." Adding to the mystery, Leslie and her sister Elizabeth speculated that toxic fumes might still be a factor, despite the negative carbon monoxide tests. Could there have been another environmental hazard in the house that went undetected? Their concerns only fueled public curiosity, with theories running wild on social media as people tried to make sense of the shocking tragedy.
Investigation is happening just up this road behind Gates and Agard in an affluent neighborhood where homes are separated by acres of land. That's where Hackman and his wife chose to live, decidedly.
As the investigation continues, authorities are combing through every aspect of Hackman and Arakawa's lives, searching for clues. From medical records to phone data, no detail is being overlooked. Investigators have even seized a 2025 monthly planner and 2 cell phones from the home, hoping to reconstruct the couple's final days. So far, however, no clear answers have emerged. Toxicology reports, which could provide crucial insights, are still pending, results that may take weeks or even months to arrive. With little concrete evidence, theories have begun to swirl. Some believe the couple may have succumbed to a shared medical crisis, such as severe dehydration or a sudden illness. Others speculate that one may have suffered a tragic accident, and the other, unable to cope, soon followed. Even their beloved dogs have become part of the mystery. Why did 2 of them survive while the third did not? Could something in the environment have affected them differently? And then, there's the possibility of foul play. While no evidence currently supports this theory, it hasn't been ruled out. The open front door has raised unsettling questions. Had someone entered or left? Though investigators found no signs of forced entry or struggle, could someone have had a key? Or was the open door just another misleading piece in an already baffling puzzle?
Incredible new details this hour about the circumstances surrounding his front door open, scattered pills on the bathroom countertop, one dog
in the closet, 2 still.
One thing is certain. The story of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's final days is far from over. The combination of their celebrity status, the strange details surrounding their passing, and the complete lack of definitive answers has created a perfect storm of speculation and intrigue. As fans and investigators alike wait for the next piece of the puzzle, one haunting question lingers. What really happened inside that house? And will we ever truly know the full story? The mystery surrounding their deaths has only deepened as new details and theories continue to emerge. The quiet, private life they carefully built in their Santa Fe retreat now stands in stark contrast to the whirlwind of speculation unraveling their final days. Could the answers be hidden in the strange clues left behind? Or do they lie somewhere, within the lives they lived, far from the Hollywood spotlight?
Investigators been able to get into the obtained cell phones?
Not at this time. We have them in our possession. We'll be analyzing cell phone data, phone calls, text messages, events, photos in the cell phone to try to piece a timeline.
One of the most baffling aspects of this case is the condition and placement of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa when they were found. Hackman, a man known for portraying tough, unshakable characters on screen, was discovered near the back of the house, collapsed beside his cane and sunglasses. It's a haunting image of vulnerability, especially for someone who, even at 95, was described by his family as full of life. Betsy, his wife of over 3 decades, was found on the bathroom floor at the opposite end of the home. Scattered prescription, pills, and an overturned heater surrounded her, creating a scene filled with unsettling questions. Were they trying to reach one another in their final moments? Was Betsy attempting to call for help? Or did something else entirely take place? Something that has yet to come to light? Adding to the confusion is the timeline, or rather, the lack of one. Hackman's pacemaker recorded its last activity on February 17th, nearly 10 days before. Their bodies were discovered, but Betsy's condition suggested she may not have been unresponsive for as long. This discrepancy has only fueled speculation. Did one of them pass first, leaving the other alone in a state of despair? If so, why was no help sought? And what role did the scattered pills play? Were they part of a medical emergency, or just an eerie coincidence? These are the questions investigators are still trying to untangle.
On Wednesday, February 26, 2025, at approximately 1:45 p.m., Santa Fe County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to 1425 Old Sunset Trail, where Gene Hackman, 95, and his wife Betsy Arakawa, 65, and a dog were found.
One of the most debated aspects of this case is the unsettling detail of the open front door. The maintenance workers who discovered the scene recalled that the door was slightly ajar when they arrived, an unusual sight for a couple known to be intensely private. Some speculate that this could have been an attempt to signal for help, a desperate act in their final moments. But others believe it hints at something more sinister. Could this open door suggest the presence of a third party? Authorities have found no signs of forced entry or struggle, yet the door remains one of the most chilling and unexplained elements of the case. Was someone else inside that house on the day of their passing? If so, who were they? And why has no trace of them been found?
Arrived and gained access to the residence where they observed Mrs. Arakawa deceased. They continued the search of their home and located Mr. Hackman in a separate area of the residence, also deceased. A German Shepherd was also found deceased, and 2 other dogs who appeared healthy were located on the property.
The condition of the house itself only deepens the mystery. Authorities found no signs of forced entry, robbery, or overt foul play. On the surface, everything seemed largely undisturbed. Yet certain details didn't sit right. The scattered pills, the overturned heater, the eerie placement of the bodies in separate rooms. It was a scene that raised more questions than answers. Even seasoned investigators were baffled. One insider reportedly remarked, "This case feels like something straight out of a Hollywood script." Considering Hackman's legendary status in the film industry, the irony of that statement wasn't lost on anyone. And then there were the pets, the couple's beloved dogs added yet another perplexing layer to the case. One was found lifeless inside a crate, while the other two roamed the property, alive and seemingly unharmed. How had they survived for so long without food or water? Had someone been caring for them in the interim? If so, who? And why hadn't they alerted authorities? Could this point to an unknown third party? Or had the dogs somehow managed to sustain themselves in ways investigators had yet to uncover? The answers, if they exist, remain just out of reach.
Due to the unusual circumstances of two decedents in the residence, there was a concern for scene safety. Santa Fe City fire personnel and the New Mexico Gas Company were requested to the scene to test for carbon monoxide or other foreign elements. The scene was deemed safe, and approximately 9:30 p.m., a search warrant was issued and executed on the residence.
As the investigation pushes forward, attention has shifted to the couple's health and lifestyle in the months leading up to their passing. By all accounts, Gene Hackman was in remarkably good shape for his age. His daughter, Leslie, described him as someone who embraced an active lifestyle, regularly practicing Pilates and yoga. Betsy, a talented classical pianist, was deeply devoted to her husband's well-being, going to great lengths to ensure he remained healthy and happy. Friends of the couple echoed these sentiments, recalling them as vibrant, engaged, and full of life. Nothing about their routine suggested an impending tragedy. So how did things take such an unexpected and devastating turn?
In this search warrant, there were 2 green in color cell phones, 2 bottles of medication, 1 bottle of over-the-counter Tylenol, my request medical records, and a 2025 monthly planner calendar. Those items were secured from the residence for evidentiary purposes.
Some have speculated that an environmental factor might be to blame. Despite tests ruling out carbon monoxide, the possibility of another hidden toxin or hazard lingers. Investigators are now expanding their search, examining everything from mold to chemical exposure, hoping to uncover an explanation for the sudden and tragic loss. The couple's medical records have also been seized as part of the inquiry, with authorities meticulously combing through their history for any underlying conditions that could provide answers. Yet so far, nothing concrete has emerged. Meanwhile, public fascination with the case continues to grow. Fans and amateur sleuths have flooded social media with theories, some even digging through Hackman's past interviews in search of hidden clues. One particular conversation from a rare 2009 interview has resurfaced, where Hackman candidly spoke about his decision to retire from acting. "The business for me is very stressful," he admitted. "I don't have many fears, but I do worry about dying, especially as I grow older." Could his words hold a deeper insight into his state of mind in his final years? Or is this merely a chilling coincidence? Celebrity tributes have only added to the emotional weight of the mystery. Clint Eastwood, who directed and starred alongside Hackman in Unforgiven, called him an artist in every sense of the word. Morgan Freeman, another former co-star, described him as one of the finest actors I've ever had the privilege of working with. These heartfelt statements paint Hackman as both a legendary talent and a deeply private man, a stark contrast to the haunting circumstances of his passing. And as the world continues to search for answers, one question remains: what really happened inside that house?
It's weird because I knew a lot of them, so they weren't intimidating. Meeting Gene Hackman the first time, it was like, but then finding out he was so funny, that was a great thing.
Yeah.
When I saw him, he did that speech in Birdcage where he just says that thing about and the leaves, and at that point you just slowly, but he did it so, it's a hard thing to make boring hysterical. And he did it.
Yeah.
And he did it perfectly.
Even those who knew Hackman and Betsy personally have been left reeling. Jesse Kessler, the contractor who made the fateful 911 call, described the couple as kind-hearted and generous, adding that he never noticed anything unusual leading up to their final days. They were just good people. Nothing ever seemed off, he recalled, still shaken by the discovery. Another close friend, Doug Lanham, shared a lighthearted memory that painted a picture of Hackman's humor and humility. Once, after losing a bet, Hackman paid it off entirely in pennies. It was a simple yet telling moment, a testament to his down-to-earth nature, even as a Hollywood legend. These personal anecdotes only deepen the sorrow felt by those who knew them, as well as the millions of fans who admired Hackman's work from afar. His passing has left an irreplaceable void, not just in cinema, but in the lives of those who cherished him beyond the screen.
Being on the set with Gene Hackman.
Well, Gene, you know, people ask all the time, you know, who's the best actor, who's the biggest star, who's the blah, blah, blah. The line's long for the great actors I've been able to work with, really is. But I would say probably Gene was the best actor that I'd ever worked with.
As we await toxicology reports and further updates from law enforcement, the mystery surrounding Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa's passing continues to captivate and confound. Each new detail raises more questions than answers, leaving both investigators and the public grasping for clarity. Was this a tragic accident, a deliberate act, or something even more unexpected? And will we ever truly know the full story of what happened inside that quiet Santa Fe home? For now, all we can do is speculate and remember the incredible legacy of a man who brought so many unforgettable characters to life. Gene Hackman's ability to disappear into his roles, to make audiences believe in the complexities of his characters, was unparalleled. His legacy will endure, even as the circumstances of his final days remain shrouded in mystery. The story of Gene Hackman and Betsy Arakawa is far from over. As more details emerge, one can only hope that the truth will finally come to light, bringing closure to a case that has captured the world's attention. Could an environmental factor be to blame? Or was it merely a tragic coincidence? And what about the open front door? Was it a silent cry for help, or something far more sinister? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. What do you think really happened in that quiet Santa Fe home? Until next time, stay curious and keep the conversation going. Goodbye.